Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I'll just say hello. And I have a fairly balanced rack, but the F and the Z together with the G, probably not going to be a bingo here. Now I do have phase. Just looking if there's a four-timer through the T. No. So I'll go with phase for 56. I draw one too many consonants. Poem takes an S. And I have a Y for going in front of the O, so I can play yang, and then pluralize it with an S afterwards if opponent doesn't take that spot. Now, what do I have here? I can see eights, neutrals through the T. Is there a 7 here? No, not seeing. Granules, Poma is no good. What about Lear? It's 29. What about Lear here? What about Rawn? 26. That's okay. I don't draw closer to a bingo, but that was always the risk, getting rid of the R, A and N. Now what about bed? No, Zod is no good. Looking at plays from the ZO. No, nothing. What about bell? Belt. 33. I'll go with that. Not a good pickup. The board is tight, which is a good thing for me currently, but there are bingos ending in T or TS. Elodius, that's a nice bingo by opponent. So, what to do? I've got dungs, burning the S. Dungs, yeah, I think I might go with dungs because I can't see this rack combining with anything to form an 8. So let's go with dungs for 33. Not a good pickup. 3 eyes on the rack. But high eye does currently play here for 29, sorting the rack out. That's no longer available. Is it available anywhere else? Well, high eye there for face value, but that's hardly worth doing. How else can I get rid of a few eyes? Ictic, only have the one C. Idiot doesn't quite work. Hoid through the E. So then maybe if I played Hoi, no, that's not gonna work. High oi leaves a H right next to that one. So Yodic, no. It's Yonic. So what about high oi works here, but it doesn't score very well. 14. I'll draw the blank, but the rest of the rack ropey. What to do with this? I've got Wad, which kind of sorts the rack out. That's 15. But then I draw a Q, so I'm destined not to bingo for a while here. Can I get rid of QI? Well, I can at G3 down. Not anymore. Umiak from a U. No U's. Chin for face value feels weak. Nothing for going under the J. QI, where do I play Q? Well, I could just play QI here, denying my opponent that spot. And I think I will do that. Kills a useful lane, though. Bingo lane. That's a really useful one. Anyway, I've got the blank. Bit clunky there. Medigap, not quite. Maffic is good, but just not seeing bingos. Okay, opponent bingos, so now I'm behind. What about fame? Yeah, I'll go with fame. Fame 39. So I've still got some clunky consonants to resolve here, so not ideal. Got to get rid of W and C, and then the rack starts to look a lot better. But how to get rid of W and C on this board? Core, I guess, killing a useful bingo lane. Not what I'm aiming to achieve. Can't Still can't play under the J. Opponent likely to get that spot. Opponent also may be struggling with a vowel shortage. Taxi is good, so wide. Or a word ending in wide. Yeah, I'll go with wide. Or actually Weiss for 20. That's looking closer to bingo territory, but this board not exactly bingo friendly, is it? Polluted through a T or an L. I have the up prefix. I have an O for going under the J, but that's, well, I've got odd, I guess. 25. 13 in the bag. I can't see bingo lanes that would work on this board. Now what about a QU play? I didn't consider that on the previous rack, although I don't think there was anything. Plusher. Doesn't matter if I find a bingo, it has to play on the board. And I wonder if opponent's players helped me. So what to do? Do I play Prach? No. Plusher and Us. That works. 80. Now, does opponent have a bingo? Don't think so. Query scores well though. Not well enough. Not for 54. And then opponent might go out with, maybe not. Nerve, yes, he does go out. Thank my opponent for the game. And let's see what we missed. So back to the start. Opponent opened with goatee, that looks fine. Phase was best for 56, and then opponent had poem for 25, that looks alright. Yang for 32, best from this rack. Then opponent exchanges, that looks fine. All Nagers, wow, that's a nice find. Through AG, that's a 9-letter word. All Nagers, I should have at least considered those floaters. I was only looking for 7s and possible 8 starting with a T. And all Nagers is a word I know without the S. So as a 8. I went with the Rawn, which was pretty high up on the list. Now opponent's got even, but evens and yangs. Wow. 33 with a decent rack leave. That might have been worth doing. Belt for 33 was best from this rack. And then Elodius comes down for 71 from opponent. I've got a horrid rack here, but Dungs gets me out of trouble and keeps the pressure on with the scoring. Opponent's got the J, ab joint for 38 through the O, getting the B doubled and the whole word doubled again. So opponent went with just joint, and now I've got iodic. That's, well, where was of course, no, where was it? Let me have a look at this. F4. Oh, iodic and cages. Yes, that was the play. 100%. Yeah, Hioi quite weak in comparison. And iodic is a word I'm familiar with, so I shouldn't have missed that. Anyway, Bai for 18 comes down. Opponent had Rabbi for 27 at E3. Rabbi. And he went with Bai. Now I've got Quim for 21. That's not bad. Wad for 15 was next best. Similar equity. So I think that's alright. Opponent's got a host of bingos. He goes with AI. And Chi for 13 was high up on the list, but Kaid. Oh, of course, Kaid and Bid. Didn't even consider that. Especially after opponent gifted me the spot. Yeah, that was a miss. And a perfect leave, CIME blank from that rack. Only slightly better one would have been DEIM blank, which I would have preferred. But still a good leave. I went with Chi, and then opponent's got a host of bingos here. Goes with Travails. Fame was best here for 39. And then opponent's got Tax for 26. And the score's very close at this stage. Weiss for 20 or Dwyle for 22. Similar equities with strong rack leaves. Now opponent does not have a bingo. And no great scores on offer. So he goes with Cod. Now, Odder. Oh, I could have extended it. 32-point play. I just played odd, thinking that I could potentially bingo next turn. But I could have stretched the score out another 7 points, albeit with a slightly poorer rack leave, because the E does help that rack. So not a big difference there. Queenie, that's a nice score for opponent, and Queenia. Opponent goes for OE there. Now, that gave me Plusher, the only playable bingo. And Prach was the other one I thought I looked at, but I think it takes an S, so pretty risky to have played that one. Plusher comes down, and opponent's got a 43-point play at best, 45. Not enough at this stage because here's a bingo behind. And he goes for queries. Not comes down for 54. Nerve for 9, and that was the end of the game. So a couple of misses there. Iodic would have been a better play. I missed that one. And then there was another play that I missed. earlier on that I mentioned. I've forgotten. Hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.